Alright, anyways. I see the door, hopefully you can see me. Anyways, what's up guys? The Insane Game Freak here. Terrell Game Vlogs. I'm not even surely sure which channel I'm going to put this on because I'm actually debating it, particularly just because I'm kind of debating on whether this is a big enough... The video itself doesn't have that much value, but the company it's about is what this is really about, and it's kind of... This is a recent announcement that came out. The Viz was like, hey, guess what guys? Dubbing, well, I don't think it's officially known to be Viz, but I assume it's Viz because Funimation hasn't said anything, Sentai hasn't said anything. I'm gonna make a bet and say it's Viz because I don't think it's Aniplex either. Aniplex has no reason. It's not like the shit's animated by Aniplex or anything. And for those who know, that's half of the shows that they have, and half the shows they get are usually shows that are done by their own fucking company. So it's like, yeah, it's Aniplex. Ah, woo! Viz Media, we're just gonna say officially is dubbing JoJo Part 3. Now, I'm not necessarily hyped about that because honestly, just a quick thing for JoJo Part 3. JoJo Part 3 is not inherently interesting. That's just me. But yeah, it's JoJo, and Part 3 is the only iteration of the manga to actually come out in the States. Well, it was the only iteration of the series to come out in the States because what they decided to announce yesterday was that JoJo Part 1 and 2, in manga form at least, are coming to the States. And I'm betting relatively soon we'll probably hear something to the effect of the anime, of like the entire JoJo Part 1 and 2 anime getting dubbed too. But, you know, it's not official so I'm not going to count it, but I wanted to just talk about Viz for a second. Particularly because I feel like this is that company that's really been showing me they ain't fucking around anymore. And I think part of it has something to do with the fact that the series that they usually put a lot of effort into, well, I'll put it this way. They're two money makers. One of them isn't making as much money because the anime's done, and the other one is just kind of their little golden boy right now. For those who don't know what I'm referring to, Viz kind of had a streak later, probably within the, like around 2007, 2008, around that general time period, where they kind of received somewhere between love-hate relationship. On one hand, they started dubbing stuff like, we got dubs such as Zatch Bell and Mare and Prince of Tennis, and I think they even took a shot at dubbing iShow 21. We only got that one fucking episode, but it was an honest effort. And they had the thing like Toonami Jetstream where they had a lot of their Car No Go too. Had a lot of shows on there. But as soon as they got shows like Naruto and Bleach, they even took a shot at Bobobo, Naruto and Bleach, everything else kind of dropped off the map. And so it's like, well, I like Naruto. Well, I think everybody liked Naruto and Bleach when they first came out, at the very least. And if you didn't, then whatever. You were some dead dude on YouTube who complained about Naruto not being like a realistic ninja show. Even though it's a fucking cartoon, why the hell would you assume that it's going to follow realistic ninja rules as a shonen? It's not a sinning. Shut the fuck up. I'm serious. I used to be in that same group who whined about Naruto's look and how he wasn't a real ninja, and then I realized it's a Shonen Jump series. It's not like it's a sinning. It's not supposed to be taken as seriously as say something like Berserk. Shut the fuck up. But Vince ended up getting a lot of shit because a lot of the older the series they were doing all got canceled. Car No Go never finished, Zatch Bell never finished, Mare never finished, Bobobo never finished, Prince of Tennis, and obviously iShow 21. Those were shows that never really got their finishes, and then you had the manga side of things where fucking manga was just going out of print, like Monster, for example. Hell, during that time, One Piece's manga was treated so badly. If anyone remembers, they didn't really start, they were like horribly behind the Japanese when it came to One Piece's manga's translation, to the point in which they had to do catch-up, I think, in 2009 and 10, in which they had to jump up like a good 20 or 30 volumes. It was fucking insane. That's how far behind they were in One Piece. And part of that, I think, was just due to sales. The other part was just due to One Piece's adaptation during the time still being for kids and that didn't necessarily put the most positive taste of One Piece in people's mouths. People were just like, fuck this shit. So that could have been an issue in itself. But I'm trying to tell you about this so we can get to where they're at now and how they've made this cool ass transition to really trying to cater to the fans in a way. Because the one thing I liked about Viz is I liked their dubs, but I just hated the fact that you could never trust anything they released. Because at that point in time, that was like 6 or 7 shows I mentioned that never got fucking releases or finished dubs. Now, granted, in Zatch Bell's case, that had something to do more so with the creator of the series and Shonen Jump falling out, which is honestly the dub just ended up being a casualty because they were really far in the Zatch Bell dub. They were literally like 2/3 already through it, so it was kind of like, even though we didn't see all of the English dub episodes in America, I think Canada did, until the little box that they released last year with all 104 episodes dubbed. Some of those episodes we had never seen on American television. We will never see on American television. But some of those shows just didn't get dubbed through sales and shit. And I used to be one of those dudes who used to hate Viz because of that. And then I realized that's not necessarily Viz's fault completely. A lot of that just has to do with a lot of Japanese and American dealings with each other. Like some of the issues that had come up with certain shows now that have apparently been resolved due to recent news and whatnot. Which is kind of where I want to get into the praise for Viz. So I understand that all of that was Viz's fault. Some of that shit just seems like it was because we don't know the full fucking story. Like the shit about Zatch Bell in general. No one knew that Zatch Bell's mangaka had fell out with Shonen Jump. Because most of us didn't give a fuck. Viz got a lot of shit from us because of that. And granted, they still got a lot of shit even after all that shit happened because we went through a period in which they were just dubbing Naruto and Bleach. Like that was it. They even... I'll put it this way, when they announced that they had the dub rights for Final Act, and yet we didn't even see Final Act get a fucking... We didn't see shit of Final Act for like, what was it, 4 to 6 years? It was insane. It was like, oh, we have Final Act, and then we didn't get to see anything until like, what, 2 years ago. That's how bad that shit was. And Viz kind of just... Viz had its respect as a dub in terms of its dubs, but it really just became the Naruto and Bleach company. Because that's all the fuck it ever produced. And then within recent years, we've had, you know, shit like Weekly Shonen Jump, which allowed them to push a lot more newer Shonen Jump titles. That's why they've produced the Maji manga and the World Trigger manga. I don't remember the fucking Lacrosse manga, which makes me mad because I liked it. And they gave us Barrage and physical print, which is insane. Usually shit that gets like one-offs don't ever get their physical volumes in America because they never make it long enough to get like 3 volumes. But Takamagahara got its physical print in America. So did Barrage. We got shit like Nisakoi. We got shit like Hunter x Hunter. Well, granted, Hunter x Hunter kind of went into this on and off again relationship. They caught it with the One Piece manga. And then you obviously had your Bleach and your Toriko and your fucking Naruto and shit. And they started really focusing on the other stuff. And I gave them props for that, because I'm like, you're making effort to put, and they even did more of the obscure titles, like fucking Shonen Sunday, Hiding Closer, Itsuwari Bito, fucking Blue Exorcist, for God's sake. That was the progression I wanted. Then you got Neon Alley, and it was like, oh, they're dubbing other things again. We finally got this Inuyasha the Final Act, Tiger and Bunny, K, Excel World. I mean, granted, they're not like hardcore dubbing shit, but fuck, it's something different. And they were promoting other shows that we weren't going to get a chance to watch unless you were willing to spend a ridiculous amount of money. Cough, cough, Aniplex, cough, cough. So you got to see shit like Fate Zero and Madoka Magica and fucking Blue Exorcist and that annoying bullshit. But that, and the Maji anime dubbed. Well, the first season anyway. The second season I haven't really heard anything about, and I think it'll probably take a minute before they actually dub that too. But that's the point I'm trying to make. They started dubbing other anime, and then we got announcements for Gargantua and Blood Lab. And then Viz said, I don't think they think that we are back and we are on the grind again. And another side note, Blood Lab's having a fucking Blu-ray DVD combo pack with a fucking box set. A chipboard box set. Shit that Funimation's been doing for the last few years. I feel like Viz needs... I feel like this video to me is just me praising Viz for all of its recent turnarounds. And then the fucking pinnacle of it all. Ironically, the first high step was probably this JoJo stuff, the dubbing of Stardust Crusaders and grabbing part 1 and part 2 of the manga, which has never been in the States due to a lot of copyright infringement bullshit. A lot of people think JoJo wasn't popular. No, it was because of a whole bunch of copyright. For God's sakes, in part 2, you have someone named AC/DC. What the fuck? There was a lot of copyright BS they had to deal with in terms of getting JoJo. That's why JoJo was a pain in the ass to get. The fact that they got part 3, and I think some of the names in part 3 are different because of the copyright bullshit, which is why JoJo took so long to get to the States. So here in the day, and actually you can go download the first 2 volumes off of Viz's site. They said, hey, we got the first 2 volumes today. Go download them. So you can go download the first 2 volumes of the first, well, go buy digitally the first 2 volumes. And they're also getting a limited edition print release. So you don't be the first motherfucker in line for that. Oh, man. And that's the type of shit I like, that they've been making all this effort. And as I said, the JoJo manga, even though that's the recent thing, that's not the pinnacle. The pinnacle was when they accomplished something that if you have been interested in the anime industry for a decent amount of time, you know had at this point become a fucking myth. They got motherfucking Sailor Moon. And granted, it's not like Sailor Moon is one of those shows in terms of, at least from the guys' fan base, that's like, oh my god, I love Sailor Moon. And that's not, I mean, granted, there are a lot of anime fans, male anime fans who like Sailor Moon. I'm just saying, in terms of female anime fans, that is the shit. That is their Dragon Ball Z. That is their Dragon Ball motherfucking Z. And so Viz was like, that's the one, it's like, if we can do anything to clutch this shit, it's that. And they were like, fuck it. And they got the original dub, and they're redubbing it, and they got the license to the new show that actually starts airing tomorrow. And my clapping summarizes how I feel about that. Viz, good fucking job. I gave you praise last year because of the Weekly Shonen Jump stuff. That is the type of shit I wanted to see. And so I can honestly say, and granted, I'm a little salty about Mare. I'm going to be salty about Mare. I'm going to be salty about Zatch Bell, because that's just how I am. But I can honestly say, as someone who grew up watching that shit and grew up dealing with the woes and the triumphs of Viz, I absolve you of your bullshit that dealt with you in the past. Just keep up dubbing new shit, grabbing new titles. You ain't gotta be on Funimation level, that's fine. I'm not gonna get mad or some shit. I'm glad you guys are making an effort and getting back into the good graces, but to be perfectly honest, when you got Sailor Moon, every other negative criticism in the last 3 years made of you was turned to shit. You couldn't say shit about Viz after that announcement, because that was accomplishing the impossible. That was some Gurren Lagann type shit right there. That was row, fight the power. God damn. And I feel like this video just needs to be made purely for that reason. Viz deserves props for all of its recent shit, and specifically for accomplishing 2 things that most people in the anime industry never fucking thought would happen, which is getting Sailor Moon back into the States in anime form, the new brotherhood of the Sailor Moon franchise, and the original series that people grew up watching, and you got fucking JoJo! Oh my god, at that point you've accomplished that, that's it! Funimation, you better pick up Hunter x Hunter because you getting your ass kicked right now, yo! I mean, Funimation grabs a lot more of a variety of stuff, but Funimation, you better grab that guy. You better get that Hunter x Hunter anime, because that's all you can get at this point. Yeah, that's it. Hunter x Hunter, that's all you can get. I don't think there's anything else out that anyone would give a shit about. That, maybe Nisekoi. Yeah, it's the only 2 things I can think of. And Nisekoi isn't big by any means anyway. Man, that's... That's some shit, yo. But I just wanted to kind of say that and give my props and congrats. Viz, you done good. Viz, you done good. And I'm curious, what are people's thoughts? I don't know. It was just kind of a dumb video in terms of concept, but I feel like they really deserve that because that's a lot of shit. That's a hell of a turnaround. And I think Final Act is supposed to be coming on Toonami, so people who want to watch that, there you go. There you fucking go. I'll leave the articles in case you don't believe me about the Sailor Moon and JoJo stuff. What do you guys think? Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. This has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game, play to win. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.